Hi everybody. In today's MTPredictor video, I'd like to look at some advanced techniques that we can use with some of the advanced tools we have in the MTPredictor software program. This is a 3-minute chart of the DAX, and you can see we have an automatic sell set up here, which is fine, but what I want to look at is the high of the day so far, which is here. Initially you can see there were no labels on the chart here, so new users may not know the kind of things we can do with this. If I scroll back and zoom out a bit, you can see we did have another important high around here. So what we tend to do is, if you have important highs, we tend to place DPs or decision points off these levels. Now these are on the chart in advance. In other words, they're projected there before the market even gets there. So as the DAX was rallying up here this morning, you knew that this was an area of resistance. And as you can see, the market came up, touched that resistance area before declining quite nicely. Another thing we can look at as well is our high volume VSA spikes. Now this bar here, which was the 333 bar, which is New York time, so this would have been fine for European customers, was a high volume spike. You can see that it came in at our VSA signal on our volume. So if I go back to this previous high here and I put a high tag on this, you can see that this was the previous high. So what also we like to see is if a market goes through a previous high, which it did here, so it went through the high. Can you see that? There's the previous high, so it went through the high on our, so zoom in again, on our VSA spike. The next bar it reached our DP resistance, then started to back off and made a red sell bar. Now we know that then this high volume here is not buying, it's actually selling, so therefore the market is likely to reverse. Are there any other indications that this is likely to reverse? Well, we have a nice rally going up here. You can see the market made a low here, then we had a nice rally. Now if I come over this bar, right mouse click, Elliott Wave Intermediate, you can see that the software has also found this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But not only that, but this high here was right at our typical wave 5 WPT. The name suggests, or as the name suggests, this is the area where typically most 5-wave sequences tend to come to an end. I'll just take the minimum one off the chart to avoid confusion. So can you see how suddenly more experienced MTPredictor users can start to piece together that there's probably an important high coming in on this 336 bar, which is here. First and foremost, because this decision point area was on our chart in advance, ready and waiting, so we knew that this was an area of likely resistance. Our VSA set up here was again giving us an indication that the market was likely to reverse and professionals were likely to do a move on the downside. And also coming in here as well, we had the end of a 5-wave sequence with this reversal coming in right at the typical area where most wave 5s tend to decline. So suddenly you've got an area where market's likely to reverse. What could the trade setup be off this? Well, after a 5-wave sequence is complete, the market usually goes back to the DP off the prior wave 4. So we use this as our initial target here. This red sell bar here the low wasn't taken out. There was another red sell bar here. So what we do is you use this to build our trade setup. So we'd short just below that low, we'd place our stop just above the high, and our target would be at the level of the decision point here from the wave 4. So you can see initially this built a trade setup of a potentially 4.1R. In other words, a very nice profitable trade. As you can see, the market declined nicely, went straight through this target area here, and also gave us another high volume VSA spike. Now this wouldn't have been one where we could have actually entered a new long trade, because the VSA bar didn't go through an important level as we did at this point here, but we do know that something is happening. So what we can do is the bar after the VSA bar, we can use it to actually manage our trade. In other words, move our stop closer to the market. In other words, we trail it at the bar highs. So the idea is that if this high of this bar here, which is the 418 bar, was taken out, we'd know that this high volume here wasn't selling, it was actually buying, therefore the market's likely to reverse, and as such this would be a good area to then bank your profit. The result of this was a nice 5.5R profit. In other words, a trade that was 5.5 times the initial risk. And that's what's good about using position sizing. Here we would have been taking one contract to keep our initial risk small under control, and the profit was approximately 5.5 times the initial risk, or the 1R risk we take on the entry. But I wanted to show you this example here to show how MTPredictor is far more than just our automatic setups on the charts. You can use it to project areas of support and resistance in advance, which is our DP areas. You can use it for Elliott wave patterns, which is our Elliott wave tool. We also have our VSA indicator down here, which will give you indications of what the professional market is doing as well, or the professional volume is doing as well. So here you can see that all these things came together to give the advanced or more experienced MTPredictor user a potential trade setup that, as you can see, produced a very nice 5.5R profit. So this is why I wanted to do this video, to show you that not only is there far more to MTPredictor than just our automatic setups, but we have some very advanced tools in the software that will allow you to nail some turns very nicely indeed, and as such generate some very good profitable trades above and beyond just the automatic trade setups.